Airport security claims they're keeping you safe. But what if I told you that half of what they tell you is complete lies? What if the TSA has been feeding you misinformation for years, and some of their most sacred rules are nothing more than security theater designed to make you feel safe while actually making things worse? Today, we're exposing the 11 biggest lies that airport security tells passengers every single day. From completely useless procedures that waste your time, to dangerous misconceptions that could actually put you at risk, to outright scams designed to separate you from your money. We're pulling back the curtain on everything they don't want you to know. Some of these lies are just annoying, others are downright expensive, and a few are so shocking they'll make you question everything. You thought you knew about airport security? By the end of this video, you'll never look at the TSA the same way again. So hit that subscribe button, because this information could save you hours of time and hundreds of dollars. And let's dive into the airport security lies they hope you never discover. Trust me, lie number 8 is going to absolutely blow your mind. First lie: remove all electronics larger than a phone. Here's TSA's first big lie. You must remove all electronics larger than a phone from your bag. Wrong. This rule has more exceptions than a tax code, but they'll never tell you about them. If you have TSA pre-check, you can leave laptops and tablets in your bag. But here's what they don't advertise. Even without pre-check, certain bags don't require electronics removal. Laptop bags with designated compartments that open flat often qualify. Some airports have newer scanners that can see through packed electronics, making removal unnecessary. TSA agents are trained to tell you to remove everything because it's easier than explaining the exceptions. They'd rather waste your time than train their staff properly. I've personally kept my laptop in a proper bag and sailed through security dozens of times while other passengers unnecessarily unpacked everything. The real kicker: studies show that removing electronics doesn't significantly improve security detection. It's mostly security theater designed to make the process look thorough. Next time, ask specifically about your bag type. You might be surprised by what you can keep packed. Second lie: the 311 liquid rule is about explosives. TSA claims the 311 liquid rule exists because liquids can be explosive. This is misleading at best, completely false at worst. The rule originated from a 2006 plot involving liquid explosives, but here's what they don't tell you. That plot required specific chemicals mixed in exact proportions under laboratory conditions. The 100 milliliters limit is completely arbitrary. There's no magical security difference between 100 milliliters and 150 milliliters of shampoo. Terrorists aren't sitting around thinking, well, I could make a bomb with 120 milliliters. But TSA only allows 100 milliliters, so I guess terrorism is canceled. Even more ridiculous, you can bring multiple 100 milliliters containers, which could theoretically contain more liquid explosives than one larger container. The rule makes no scientific sense. Meanwhile, baby formula, medications, and breast milk get exceptions because somehow terrorists never thought of disguising explosives as baby food. The truth is, modern explosive detection technology can identify dangerous liquids regardless of container size. The 311 rule persists because changing it would require admitting it was never about security in the first place. It's about control and the appearance of doing something. Third lie: random additional screening is actually random. You've been selected for additional screening, TSA's favorite lie. They want you to believe it's random, like a lottery. It's not. There are specific algorithms, profiling criteria, and behavioral triggers that determine who gets the extra attention. Booking last-minute flights, paying with cash, traveling to certain destinations, or even your travel history can flag you for random screening. One-way tickets, unusual travel patterns, or previously flagged behavior all increase your chances. Age, gender, and yes, unfortunately, sometimes appearance can influence selection. Here's the kicker: even your seat assignment can trigger additional screening. Certain rows or seat types are automatically flagged in their system. TSA agents know exactly why you were selected, but they're trained to call it random to avoid discrimination lawsuits and passenger complaints. The most infuriating part: once you're in their system as someone who gets randomly selected, you're more likely to be selected again. It's not random. It's algorithmic profiling disguised as randomness. They lie about it being random because the truth would reveal their actual screening criteria, which might not hold up to legal scrutiny. Fourth lie. You must arrive 2 hours early for domestic flights. The biggest scam in air travel might be the arrive 2 hours early rule for domestic flights. This isn't a security requirement. It's an airline recommendation designed to reduce their liability when they mess up. Airlines benefit from early arrivals because it reduces missed flights due to delays, overbooking situations, and customer service complaints. But here's what they won't tell you. Most domestic flights in major airports require 45 to 60 minutes maximum if you're prepared. TSA wait times are publicly available online and through apps. Most domestic security lines take 15 to 30 minutes during peak times, 5 to 10 minutes during off-peak. Add 15 minutes for check-in and gate walking, and you're looking at maximum 1 hour total. The 2-hour rule was created during peak post-9/11's paranoia when security was genuinely chaotic. Modern airport security is streamlined, predictable, and much faster. Airlines keep pushing the 2-hour narrative because it protects them from compensation claims when flights are delayed or canceled. Smart travelers check real-time security, wait times, and arrive accordingly. I regularly arrive 60 to 75 minutes early for domestic flights and have never missed one due to security delays. Fifth lie. Shoe removal makes flights safer. Taking off your shoes at airport security is one of the most pointless security measures ever implemented, and TSA knows it. The shoe rule started after the 2001 shoe bomber Richard Reed. But here's the truth. His attack failed not because of airport security, but because passengers and crew stopped him. Modern shoe scanning technology can detect threats without removal, which is why TSA pre-check passengers keep their shoes on. If shoes were genuinely dangerous, would they really let millions of pre-check travelers skip this crucial security step? International airports in Europe, Asia, and other regions don't require routine shoe removal and have identical security effectiveness. Even within the US, some airports have newer scanners that eliminate shoe removal for all passengers. The reality: shoe removal is security theater that inconveniences millions of travelers daily while providing minimal actual security benefit. TSA continues the practice because admitting it's unnecessary would mean acknowledging they wasted billions of dollars and countless hours on pointless procedures. The most telling evidence: TSA's own studies show that shoe-related security threats are statistically negligible, yet the rule persists anyway. Lie number 6. Body scanners are completely safe. TSA insists their body scanners pose no health risks, but they're not telling you the whole truth. The original backscatter X-ray machines were quietly removed after years of health concerns, but TSA never admitted they were potentially dangerous. Current millimeter wave scanners use different technology, but independent studies on long-term exposure effects are limited. TSA employees working near these machines all day have reported health concerns, yet passengers are told there's absolutely no risk from occasional exposure. Here's what they don't advertise. You can opt out of body scanner screening and request a manual pat-down instead. But TSA agents are trained to make this process as uncomfortable and time-consuming as possible to discourage opt-outs. They want you to believe the scanner is your only option. The scanners also have a documented history of false positives, especially for passengers with medical devices, certain clothing materials, or body shapes that don't fit the scanner's algorithms. These false positives lead to additional screening that could have been avoided. The effectiveness data on these scanners is classified, so we can't independently verify whether they actually improve security or just create an illusion of safety. Seventh lie. All prohibited items are dangerous. TSA's prohibited items list reads like a joke, but they'll never admit how arbitrary many restrictions are. Nail clippers with tiny files are banned, but knitting needles longer than nail files are allowed. Small scissors are prohibited, but metal crochet hooks that could cause identical damage are fine. Many prohibited items pose no realistic threat to aircraft security. The sharp objects panic ignores that airplanes are full of potentially dangerous items. Glass bottles, metal utensils, even the armrests can be weaponized by determined individuals. Here's the real kicker. TSA's own testing shows that prohibited items are regularly missed by screeners. If these items were genuinely dangerous, their detection rate should be nearly 100%. Instead, undercover tests reveal frightening failure rates that TSA tries to keep classified. Some restrictions exist purely for liability reasons. Banning certain items protects TSA from lawsuits if something goes wrong, regardless of actual danger levels. Other restrictions are simply bureaucratic momentum once something gets banned. Removing it from the list requires admitting the original ban was unnecessary. The most telling evidence: many dangerous items can be purchased inside the secure area of airports, proving they're not actually security threats. Lie number 8. Pre-check background checks are thorough. TSA markets pre-check as exclusive access for thoroughly vetted, low-risk travelers. The reality? The background check is shockingly superficial and has missed some serious red flags. Extensive background check primarily looks at criminal history and basic identity verification. It doesn't include psychological evaluation, financial background, or deep lifestyle investigation. People with concerning histories have gotten pre-check approval, while harmless travelers get denied for minor infractions. Here's what they don't tell you. The background check is largely automated and relies on databases that are often incomplete or outdated. Human review is minimal, and appeals processes are Byzantine and often ineffective. The biggest lie: that pre-check makes flying more secure. In reality, it just creates two-tiered security, where paying customers get convenience while everyone else suffers through security theater. The same people who are low risk with pre-check somehow become higher risk when their membership expires, proving the system's fundamental illogic. Lie number 9. Security wait times are unpredictable. TSA wants you to believe security wait times are impossible to predict, forcing you to arrive hours early just in case. This is complete nonsense designed to reduce their liability and increase airport revenue from early arriving passengers. Security wait times follow predictable patterns based on flight schedules, seasonal travel, and even day of the week. Apps like MyTSA and airport websites provide real-time wait times that are surprisingly accurate. Peak times are typically 6 to 8 a.m. and 4 to 7 p.m. on weekdays, with Sunday evenings being consistently busy. The unpredictability myth benefits airports financially because early arriving passengers spend more money on food, shopping, and services. Airlines also prefer the myth because it reduces missed flights and associated compensation costs. TSA could easily provide better wait time predictions, automated queue management, and appointment scheduling like other service industries. Instead, they maintain artificial scarcity and unpredictability to manage passenger expectations downward. Smart travelers use real-time data and arrive accordingly. I regularly check wait times before leaving for the airport and adjust my arrival based on actual conditions, not fear-based recommendations. Lie number 10. Private security screening isn't available. Here's a secret TSA doesn't advertise. Many airports offer private security screening companies that can be faster, more efficient, and less invasive than TSA. San Francisco, Kansas City, and several other airports use private contractors for security screening with identical safety standards but better customer service. TSA is required by law to allow airports to opt out of federal screening and use private companies instead. However, TSA makes this process deliberately difficult and rarely publicizes this option. They prefer maintaining their monopoly on airport security. Private screening companies must meet the same security standards as TSA, but often provide better training, shorter wait times, and more professional service. They're accountable to airport authorities and passengers in ways that federal TSA employees simply aren't. Some airports also offer premium security services for business travelers, screening that's separate from both regular TSA and pre-check lines. These services cost extra, but can save significant time for frequent travelers. The biggest secret: SOAN performance metrics often show that private screening companies perform better on both security effectiveness and customer satisfaction, which is why TSA doesn't want you knowing about these alternatives. Lie number 11. Airport security prevents terrorism. The biggest lie of all: that current airport security measures significantly prevent terrorism. This claim falls apart under scrutiny, but questioning it has become almost taboo since 9/11. No major terrorist attack on U.S. aviation has been prevented by TSA screening procedures. The shoe bomber, underwear bomber, and other attempts were stopped by passengers and crew. Meanwhile, TSA's own testing reveals that dangerous items regularly pass through security undetected. The most effective anti-terrorism measures are actually invisible to passengers. Reinforced cockpit doors, armed air marshals, intelligence sharing between agencies, and behavioral detection. The visible security theater at checkpoints provides minimal actual protection while consuming enormous resources. International aviation security studies show that countries with less invasive screening procedures have identical safety records. To the U.S., the correlation between intensive screening and aviation safety simply doesn't exist in the data. Modern airport security is primarily psychological, designed to make passengers feel safe rather than actually preventing attacks. Real security happens through intelligence work, international cooperation, and behind-the-scenes measures that passengers never see. There you have it, 11 massive lies that airport security tells passengers every single day. From useless procedures to arbitrary rules, from health risks to outright scams. The TSA has been deceiving travelers for over 2 decades. The truth is, most airport security is theater designed to make you feel safe while spending billions of your tax dollars on procedures that don't actually work. Now you're armed with the truth. You know which rules are actually flexible, which procedures are pointless, and which alternatives exist that they don't want you to know about. Use this knowledge to travel smarter, faster, and with less stress. Make sure to subscribe, because next week, we're exposing the dark secrets of airline pricing that will save you hundreds of dollars on every flight. Which of these lies shocked you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know what airport security nonsense you want exposed. Until next time, travel smart and well. See you at 30,000 feet.